Wach auf, großer Bäri. Halt. Steht auf. All of these are examples of the imperative or command form. Wach auf, wake up. Halt, stop. Steht auf, stand up. They all have one thing in common, as in English, an understood you as the subject. You wake up. You stop. You stand up. That's what we will explore today. So, the imperative is only used with the second person singular and plural. So, singular, we have du, and for plural, we have ihr in German, and we have sie with a capital S. There's also a version of imperative where we use first person plural, and that will be wir. So that includes you and everybody else, which we'll talk about in a minute. So, you. If we're talking about you, that understood you, we're talking to one person singular. Okay? So, here we go. Zum Beispiel, here's one girl. All right? It's quite simple actually to just say, hey, you understood go. All you're going to do is you're going to use the stem of the verb. So, the stem of the verb in the context of gehen, which is to go, the stem would be ge because the en makes it the infinitive and that's one of the endings. So, simply to go ahead and say, hey, little girl, you go, you could just say ge. Now, of course, you want to make sure that you capitalize this because it is the beginning of a sentence. And so you would say ge. Go ahead and try your hand at these two. Bleiben is to stay. Springen is to jump. So if you're talking to one person, you want to tell her, hey, stay, you would say bleib, because bleib is the stem. The stem of springen, to jump, is spring. I know it looks like spring in English, but so you would just say spring. That's the worst writing I've ever done. Okay, ihr. So if you're talking to a group of people that you are friends with, so informal. Here's a group of people. Just kind of randomize them here. All right. So we're going to talk to this group of people, and we're going to tell all of them, hey, you go. You plural go. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the conjugated ihr form of the verb. So for the verb gehen, we conjugate it. Ich gehe, du gehst, sie, es geht. Wir gehen, ihr geht. So the stem is ge, the ending is t, and that is our new form. So gate. You can tell the whole group of them to go. And of course, as always, you want to make sure that you capitalize that because it's the beginning of the sentence. So gate. So go ahead and try your hand at bleiben. Tell this group of people to stay and tell them to jump. So conjugate for ihr. Ich bleibe, du bleibst, sie, es bleibt. Wir bleiben, ihr bleibt. Sie bleiben. Ich springe, du springst, sie, er springt. Wir springen, ihr springt. So basically, it's much as we would in English, it's that sort of understood you before it. So as a sentence, it would have been ihr springt. Y'all jump. But the you is understood, so we say springt. So make sure that it starts with a capital letter. Now, what if you're talking to a group of adults? That'll be the next thing we look at. Now, there are some verbs we haven't learned a lot, but there are some separable prefix verbs. That means there's a prefix that gets chopped off. And typically, you'll probably hear this a lot. So if I want to tell you all to wake up, wacht auf. So the prefix goes to the end. Stand up, steht auf. And the prefix goes to the end. So that's a little something different, which we'll be looking at separable prefix verbs later. when you're talking to an adult, so if you want to talk to me and any other adult, and it can be just one or a whole group of them, you're going to use the infinitive form of the verb, and you're going to include the formal U, Z with a capital S. It's also always a good idea to include please. So I would use the infinitive form, gehen. I would include the Z, and then I would also want to make sure that I say please at the end. So make sure that this is capitalized. So gehen Sie bitte. That's if you're talking to someone on a formal basis. Gehen Sie bitte. So take a minute to try these. So bleiben would be bleiben Sie. Springen, springen Sie. If it's a separable prefix, we want to go ahead and make sure we have the prefix. So anfangen, we say fangen Sie bitte an. Fangen Sie bitte an, Frau Braun. Sein is different though. Sein, since it's already irregular, ich bin, du bist, er, sie, es ist, wir sind, ihr seid, sie sind. The sein imperative is totally irregular as well, so you need to learn these. So for do, I would say be brave, sei brav, not bist brav, sei brav. For ear, it is actually the ear form. Ich bin, du bist, er, sie, es ist, wir sind, ihr seid. So seid ruhig, so be quiet, children. And for the formal, totally wonky, because we go from sein to seien Sie. Seien Sie froh, Herr Jones. Be happy, Mr. Jones. Sei, seid, seien Sie. Sei, seid, seien Sie. Now, collective. So what if you want to be part of this group? So you're going to tell everybody to do something, but you want to be part of that. So we use wir, which basically is let's or let us. So, gehen wir tanzen. Hören wir gut zu. So, let's dance. Let's listen well or closely. And so, simplified, gehen wir, spielen wir, lesen wir, fangen wir jetzt an. So, all of these would be to include yourself. So, let us go, let's go, let us play, let's play. So, you're telling a group of people, including yourself. So try your hand at these, pause this video, and see if you can figure out taking the verb in parentheses, see if you can figure out, based off the pictures, who you're talking to. Note that this is an adult female, so assume that this is someone you don't know on this one. And then resume when you're ready for your answers. So, geh nach Hause. Tanzen Sie bitte, Frau Braun. Seid glücklich. Be happy. And kommt hier. Danke.